Presented by PlayStation Days of Play.
The Phantom Thieves, or some Phantom Thieves, are going mobile. We had a chance to play Persona 5, The Phantom X, and it might not be terrible. Here to help me answer that question is Lisa Wallen.
Hi.
Noted Sega freak.
Noted Sega freak and journalist and whatever I can do in gaming.
I associate you with being a fan of the Yakuza games. Where do you stand on Persona?
Oh, the whole reason why I got into PlayStation 4 was to buy Persona 5. And then I ended up playing Royal, and then now
Here
this
we are.
new game.
Yes. Well, let's go back to Persona 5, because obviously that is a title that Sega Atlus has gotten a lot of mileage out of,
yes,
shall we
absolutely.
say. So you played the original Persona 5.
Yes, that was my first Persona, but I did watch the Persona 3 anime before
I think that counts.
And I didn't know it was a video game.
Great.
And I was like, oh, cool, oh, they're games. And I played Persona 5, and my first run was like 200 hours. And I was like, this game is gonna blow up, is basically what I got from it.
And yet you still decided to play Persona 5 Royal.
Yes, and then now I was like, oh, we have a new Persona 5.
Exactly, which is Persona 5 The Phantom X, a mobile game. Are you somebody who naturally balks at the word mobile game, or are you kind of on board for mobile?
I'm a little mixed, because my idea of mobile game is like Balatro and Slay the Spire.
Sure.
It's like games that I'm like, if I can just use one finger to play it, that's mobile game. But like the gotcha stuff is the stuff that I kind of ick to. Well, when I first started playing, I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like a mobile game. This feels like
I agree.
New protagonist, new setting, new characters, new persona. Everything felt new.
When we went into this preview, they started us at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And anybody who's played a Persona or a Metaphor Refantasio knows that all of these games have about a 5-hour tutorial at the beginning of them.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
It just felt like, oh, okay, here we are. We're doing Persona 5 again, but an alternate story about a different group of Phantom Thieves. It's almost like a what if situation. I did feel like I was playing a new Persona game, because we played on PC and we played with controllers.
Yeah.
Or you could play mouse and keyboard, but again, it kind of helped disguise the fact that it was a mobile game. However, some of the controls, like in your hand controller controls, were a little clunky. They really were using a lot of buttons because it was really designed to be a touchscreen.
Yeah, and also from someone who had played Persona before, I was like, this feels a little different to me.
Yes, I agree.
Also, going from PlayStation to an Xbox controller was a little bit for me as well.
Yeah.
But they did add some cool mechanics
Absolutely.
to the fighting. They had the highlights.
Yes, I liked that.
And so I was like, okay, so they are trying to make this feel more like an actual JRPG instead of just gotcha stuff. But it was kind of funny how they just kind of brushed that to the side. Oh, by the way, there's this whole other thing to it.
Was 100% how I felt about our playthrough. So after we played the beginning, and again, I'm thinking, cool, this is like a new Persona game. It's running great on PC. I can play this on my Rogue Ally. This is gonna be great. Then we go away for about 15 minutes, come back, and the developers have jumped us forward into just a free time. And that is when I went, what?
Yeah, a lot of like, do you want to purchase this? Do you want to collect this? Blah, blah. And like, it is cool. For someone like me, I'm such a like completionist person, and I hate having that mindset. I play Yakuza games, dude.
Yeah.
No Yakuza game is less than 40 hours
100%,
for me.
yeah.
And so when it's like, okay, yeah, like if I work in the grocery store enough, then I'll like level up my character, but also you'll collect these things that you can buy other things, and you can just pay to level people up. You can pay for new outfits and all stuff.
This game being a mobile game does away with the calendar, aside from the real world calendar of you get bonuses for logging in that day.
Yeah, it's a good idea in the sense that, yes, I want to be able to do more things.
Yes.
But it's definitely catered towards the gacha system. It's like, well, we need you to do more things so that you collect more things and got to spend some money and some gems.
Well, and as somebody who comes from the world of playing just regular Persona games, I went on this whole saga with this beefy guy who was like a weightlifter. I think his name was Anderson. I went down this whole quest with him and how he wanted to ask this girl out, but then it turned out that she was working for some sort of Ponzi scheme. It was wild.
That sounds very Japanese.
Yes.
I love it.
There was something though in there about, he only appears on certain days, but I think it just said during the day, but I read it as certain days knowing that like, oh yeah, well, it's Persona. So there's a calendar, it'll tell me that it's Tuesday in the game and maybe I just can only find them on Tuesdays.
You must get addicted to this and show up on this day.
I know, 100%. That's what I thought. I was like, does this mean like the real world calendar I have to show up? I freaked the devs out. They came over and talked to me afterwards when I asked that question and they're like, we want to know because we think it's a bug. And I'm like, no, I think I'm an idiot. Like, I don't think it was a bug.
I think I'm the bug.
I think I'm the bug. I just read it wrong.
I did do the Momentos too.
I explored Momentos a little bit as well.
I was trying to figure out like the new combat things that they added, but also if they had like new personas and new enemies and whatnot too. And now I'm like, I didn't get to the gacha portion of that.
Right.
But I did notice like when you defeat certain enemies, you'll get like a certain amount of gems. If you and it was just like, oh, if you beat this many enemies, you'll get this thing. And I was like, okay, so this is catered towards my OCD addiction.
And I will say that that is one thing that I noticed as well, and I couldn't really fully get a straight answer on of if I don't want to spend money to buy any of these various in-game currencies to do
am I gonna get punished?
Different things. Right, am I gonna get punished? Basically, they said if you are there to have a single-player JRPG experience, there is nothing that's going to be preventing you from progressing in the story. Because I remember, you know, when I picked up Genshin Impact, let's say, there is a surprising amount to do even if you don't spend any money.
Yeah, which I think is very important for these types of games.
Yes.
Because there's some where it's just literally like, I'm just rolling and rolling and rolling.
Yup.
And the cool thing is, you know, because we didn't really talk about it, did you do the first palace?
I had just finally been like, maybe I should do the first palace, and then they're like, well, you have to stop playing, and I was like, no,
like, dang it.
I spent all my time with Anderson.
We did, and you know what, Anderson was worth it. I did the first palace, which I thought was cool because I was like, I just want to see if it's like the different vibe,
right?
Because in the first one, it was the teacher,
yes,
and he was a pervert,
yep.
And then this one, it was kind of the same kind of lust guy, but it was a guy on the. I don't know how much I can say.
He was like a baseball.
He was a baseball
coach or something. A baseball player.
Baseball player, and this whole thing was like pushing women.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then you battle him, and then that's where they show you the highlight system, and now you have a new support persona,
right?
Which can also be the older characters that you can purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they did give us like a few, which I didn't know, is this something I get naturally throughout the game?
Yeah. I sort of felt like they gave those to us so we could experience them.
Yeah.
But if you want, they call them the Phantom Idols. They're your support character. And it's great because they do give you like a really cool support. Especially there was one I remember who I added to my squad, I think when I was taking on some Momentos challenge or something. And she restored skill points.
And she got beats. They had different names for different things you collect. And it's like, oh, if you do this thing, you get 4 beats. And I was like, wait, what's this new thing? So I didn't really get to see that. But I did notice it's like, okay, so say I completely forget about the mobile portion of this game. Is this fight going to be harder? Because the fight was too easy. I want to play it just because I want to see the new palaces and
Me too,
characters.
yeah.
But they did have an overwhelming amount of characters.
I did notice that because part of the reason that I didn't immediately go to the palace and went to Momentos was because I saw that there were all of these different characters. And so I thought, well, I want to try playing around with these characters. Can one of these characters be my boyfriend? Probably not. Atlus. Get with the times.
Can I be gay yet? Can we make this a gay gacha game at least? Yeah, I'm very curious to see because I did see in, I guess, the gacha portion of like you can purchase the older Phantom Thieves to be part of your squad or your support. I'm wondering if they're going to be tied in the lore somehow.
I don't know. Again, like I very specifically asked if somebody is just trying to enjoy this.
Interrogating the developers.
I was interrogating the developers. I was just like Nijima. So I was like, okay, I want to play this as a Persona game. Can I do that? Or am I gonna run out of energy and I'm gonna have to spend money to get more energy to keep playing?
I'm glad that you asked that question because I didn't think it was gonna offend them if I did. But in my head I was like, I would like to play this game just to see the new Persona stuff and to check out, but like I don't wanna be forced to have to.
Right, and that's my thing is as a Persona player, I was relatively engaged with the actual gameplay, not the mobile gacha aspect of it. You know, the devs are saying that you can just play it and you're not going to be barred from recruiting any of the characters that you would naturally recruit as part of the story,
they're very adamant about how it's like you can still play this as like a normal RPG, JRPG, and it's just like that's cool, but it's like you're just getting as much as you can out of Persona 5. You know?
So I guess from my perspective, my big question is, are we running into something that is going to become unplayable at a certain point if you don't spend your real human dollars on it?
And yes.
Or are we looking at a game that is making Persona 5 super accessible to everybody because it's free to play?
Someone did ask Dev if they're planning on having an English dub, and they said no plans of that for now. So you're already alienating part of your Western audience with that already.
Right.
So we'll see, I guess, how that ends up being.
Yep.
I'm probably going to get it because why not?
Yeah, it's free.
But I'm probably going to end up making it not free for me. So. Another thing, too, is that I just don't know if I want to play it on mobile. It seems a little intense.
It feels big for mobile.
And knowing them, they'll probably have like 10 palaces. That's like 200 hours. I can't destroy my poor iPhone 10 over that.
Well, fortunately, you won't necessarily have to play it on your phone because Persona 5, the Phantom X, releases globally for PC, iOS, and Android on June 26th, so we are right around the corner from finding out just how playable this game actually is.